Welcome to the 111 Approach podcast, your go-to space for deep thoughts, real talk, and exploration of everything from spirituality to self-development and the mysteries of life with some light-hearted humour along the way. I'm your host, Lakshmi, aka the 1 Minute Healer, and each episode will dive into different topics, sometimes personal, sometimes thought-provoking, but always authentic. So whether you're here for some new perspectives, inspiration, or just a fresh take on the world with a bit of randomness thrown into the mix, you're definitely in the right place. So what are you waiting for? Let's get into it. Hi, it's Lakshmi here, and before we start this week's episode, I need your help. Next year, I am taking on the biggest charity challenge I've ever done. Now, for those of you who know me well, you know I love to do things for charity ever since I was a child, from sponsored dance-a-thons, sponsored silences. Yes, I know, hard to believe me being quiet, right? Sponsored abseilings down buildings, and last year, even sleeping out on the streets of London in the middle of October in just a sleeping bag. I really try and push and immerse myself in things to raise money for good causes. And next year, I am climbing Mount Kilimanjaro for not one, but two amazing children's charities. Cordwell Children, who help disabled and autistic children all over the world, and Cordwell Youth, who empower at-risk adults aged 11 to 24. Now, this is the biggest challenge I've ever taken on because, number one, the target I need to hit is the biggest one to date. I need to raise £5,000, all of which goes to the charities, because actually the trip and expedition itself is self-funded. But hey, if you're a business and would like to sponsor that side of it, please get in touch with me. And number two, I've never climbed a mountain in my life. Although I did make up my mind at age 5 that I did find a mountain in Canada and claimed it as my own. But that's a story for another day. So please, if you are able to make a donation, no matter how big or small, it will really help me reach that target. And I will be forever grateful to you, as will the children who the money will go to. So thank you again. The link will be in the show notes below, and enjoy this week's episode. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the 111 podcast with me, Lakshmi, the 1 Minute Healer. And yes, I know it has been a hot minute since I've actually released an episode. I was aiming for one a week, but since I got to India, I'll be honest, holidaying with a 3-year-old is not really a holiday, is it? I mean, all you parents out there will know that it's not holidaying, it's just parenting in a different country. So I have first-hand experience now of that is the case. So everything I wanted to get done, including this podcast, has been put on the back burner. But guess what? It's okay. Life still moves on. And today I have got a very special guest on that I've been wanting to get on. I always say this, I've been wanting to get on for a very long time, but truly I have, because I think since February when I released this podcast, I did reach out and say we need to do an episode together, and it's taken us almost 9 months.
Yeah,
you could add another baby.
Like I said, the
She's
blessing.
like, one's enough.
One and done.
Oh, mate, none and done for me. Anyway, without further ado, you've heard her beautiful voice already and her beautiful, infectious energy and laughter coming through. It is the beautiful Billie, makeup artist extraordinaire, beader? Jewelry maker. I was going to say, what do you call someone who makes beads? I was like, oh, it's a jewelry maker. And I have to say, a graduated warrior. What else do you do? You do loads of things. You're amazing woman. And I'm going to let her introduce herself properly. But she was a client of mine. We're going to talk about how we met. And then she came on one of my coaching programs a few years ago and got to know each other a bit more intimately. Made some amazing breakthrough. She's had an incredible journey and more to come. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, gender neutrals and species of all the planets and universes, may I please welcome to the podcast, Mrs. Billie. Moi.
Hi, and thank you so much. Like, I am so honoured to be here today. I know we've been trying for a while, and it's just taken us a hot minute because, yes, I also have a little baby. Well, I'll say baby. It's not a baby anymore. It's 2. And yeah, it can be very demanding in the nicest possible way. But yeah, plans always don't go to plan. That makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that is true. But that's life, isn't it? With or without a toddler or a baby. And I think that's quite an important point to remember, that we can plan as much as you want, but first has other plans. Then you just have to surrender, let go, and carry on. So I guess being a parent and having someone else control your plans
Yeah.
is one of the greatest way to surrender, right?
True, right? They're at their own little universe as well. But I've got to say, like, listen, 'cause
Yeah.
I heard your podcast about the 9/11 podcast, which was like, oh my God. But even there, when you were saying that, like, obviously that uncle made you stay at theirs and you didn't get to do
Mm.
anything, like, it's like, oh my God, like, I guess you can't even think about what if you did stay there. Like, so yeah, I guess everything happens for a reason. Whether we like it or not, things happen for a reason, right?
Definitely. And I think that's where when things are going maybe not to plan, you can
Mm.
then try and catch yourself and say, well, this is probably preventing something worse. So if you can
Mm.
try and adopt that mindset in
Yeah.
every situation where things aren't going to plan, it can make it a little bit easier. I mean, when you're in it though, I'm saying that, and like being here in India has really tested my patience, and
Mm.
it has been really frustrating because the Indian timing, I don't know if people know, for the non-Asians who are listening to this, Indian timing is just, you can't even call it timing. It is just,
It's like
it's just
non-existent, right?
whenever they want to do it. Yeah. They'll tell you a time and it won't be at that time. It will never be at that time. I think there's only one place that I've been that they were on time, and it's actually the company that I'm going to be working with to bring people over to do medical wellness retreats. And I'm like, if you are not on time, I cannot work with you. So luckily they are amazing, and our experience with them was second to none. That is why I have chosen to partner with them. But
Oh,
watch
so
this
good.
space because there'll be more on that in the new year. I'm going to be
So
bringing out something
cheery.
very special. Yes. But other than that company, everything else, time was just an illusion. And you could
Mm.
probably say that the Indians are probably very forward thinking in that way then, because time isn't linear and they have their own version of time. And it is just absolutely
Mm.
incredible to try and balance out that. So, anyway, enough about the trials and tribulations and frustrations of toddlers in India. Let's get back to you, Billy. Let's get back to you. And yeah, could you give us a little bit of your origin story?
Yeah, so this is the thing that I always struggle with as well. Like, I'm like, I never know what my little blurb is. I think I need to make one, but it always changes because I'm like, I need to add this and I need to add this, but this doesn't matter. But then now this does.
Um, I can actually help you with your blurb. This is what I do for people as well. Yeah, your
Oh,
identity, even if it's just identity for yourself as a person. But if you want to have your own business, and if you want to become a bit more succinct in how you come across and introduce yourself, I can help you with that.
I have to say, you are amazing because you've helped me so much.
Oh, thank
And
you.
like, honestly, like, yeah, let me quickly say about my
Mhm.
background. Yeah, so I'm a makeup artist. I started doing that before I went to Ibiza. I went to Ibiza and I lived there for like 8 months. And I was like,
Did
makeup
you?
there. Yeah. So my sister went over in 2015, and then in 2016, me and my then boyfriend, who is now my husband, we went over and stayed with them, and that's where I started doing the makeup and everything. Unfortunately, that's when my dad passed away, and so then I came back to England and just stayed here. But I think that's one of the key things that kind of shaped me a lot after my dad passed away, and that's how we met as well, because I think after that, so I used to do the beads as well. So I used to like make accessories and jewelry making around that time as well. Just before that, actually, at Christmas, my sister bought me a bead kit, and I just used to do it like here and there. So I remember, like, if I wasn't working in Ibiza, I'd be sitting there on the balcony in the sun, in the, like sunbathing and doing beads. It was great. Um, but then yes, my dad passed away 2016, and I didn't realize how hard that would hit me, and how life would go after that. Because you're never taught what to do when you lose a parent or anything like that. Um, and then I think the whole COVID thing was just crazy. And I remember I found that really difficult, the COVID period and everything going on. And I think I was still grieving. And then my sister found you, and she said that you were having a free, like, Reiki session, just, to help people in that situation. I was like, oh, right, let me see what this is about, because I had a Reiki session before, but it was Um, I think because it was from somebody who didn't really understand energies properly. I think they were just getting into it. I don't think they
Mm.
could explain or kind of talk about everything that happened. And I remember I was having a really tough time, and I had that Reiki session with you, and I just remember I was like, "Right, I know what I need to do." I honestly, like, no joke, I just felt enlightened. I was like, "Right, I know what it is. I know what I've got to do." And at the time, I was working at the Met Police, and there was a lot of stuff that had happened, and I was like, "I need to get out of here." And I literally, no joke, wrote my resignation letter that day after our session, and I handed it in 2 days later. And that was the best thing
Wow.
I had ever done. And I remember thinking since then, right, okay, Lakme is like my she's my girl. Like, if I need like any healing or anything, that's where I'm going to. And I have been ever since when I've needed a session or I've needed clarity or anything. Even when I had like my pregnancy go all crazy and whatever, I remember Don reaching out to you, and I still remember like the message that you sent to him that came through to me, and I was just like in tears, like, wow. So yeah, so again, I really do
Oh,
thank you and appreciate you. So yeah.
oh, you getting me all emotional now. It's just all coming back to me. Yeah, like the is it Celine Dion? It's all coming back to me now. um,
So
yeah, it was a mad time. Like during that first lockdown, I remember so many people lost their jobs overnight, were put on furlough or made redundant, or their businesses just stopped. And because I was still in the medical field, I still had my job. We obviously couldn't go into hospitals. We were working from home. At the time, I was only doing the energy healing part time. Um,
mm,
and I thought, what can I do? Because I just kept seeing so many people scared, worried, not able to earn. And I thought, well, I'm so blessed to still be able to be getting paid, and working from home. I can just give out free energy healings for people who just needed it. So I just put something out on my Instagram. Whoever wants some free healing, like just DM me. And yeah, I remember your sister, and then she was like, I want my husband to have one, and I want my sister to have one, and then her
yeah.
husband to have one. So I
Yeah.
kind of went through the whole family, which was quite
Um,
nice, and got to know you all a little bit more.
no, went through like the whole family.
Yeah. To be fair, a lot of my clients came through that as well. Like one of them would have it, and then they were like, I need you to do my other half, or my mom, or my children. And that's how I get most of my clients, everybody. So, word of
Yeah.
mouth is the best kind of referral
And
system, isn't it? Rather
100%.
than paying for ads and stuff.
Yeah. I think like there's certain, and again, like, don't get me wrong, there's certain people that do what you do, and I don't know, they you're just so easy to resonate with. You're just so approachable, and you're just so easy to connect with. So I think that really helps because you're just open, and I think that makes everybody feel comfortable. And like, I don't know what you like I said, I think you've got a gift, and
Oh,
it's yeah, it's just amazing because it's like I can't explain it, but you're amazing at what you do. And yeah, it's just
oh, thank
yeah,
you.
honestly, like heartfelt. Thank you. No, it's been honestly like you've been a rock through so many different situations in my life. When even though I was still grieving with my dad after I had my miscarriage as well, you know, you helped me through that as well. You gave me a session then. Even when I had like my son, there was so many complications, and you're just like, it's weird because it's kind of like, oh my God, I need something. I need some healing or something. All right, I'm going to let me. You're the one that's always there. And there's just, I don't know, like I said it to you before, you definitely have a gift. There's a gift. And it it's just, it's amazing because it's like, um, I can't explain the way that it's almost like I'm drawn to you.
No, I appreciate that. Thank you. And I know you've been through so much in such a short space of time as well. Well, actually, like I said, I want to talk about the time thing because when it comes to grief, there is no time limit on grief. And if it's okay for you to do so, and I know you've mentioned your miscarriage, but you lost your dad as well. I think we connected on that level, and when your dad's energy came through on your first healing, and obviously
Mm,
I had no idea. And I just recently lost my dad as well. I think I remember I got a bit confused because I was thinking, why is my dad's energy in your healing? And I was just like,
Yeah.
this is really weird. And I was very open with you. I don't know why, but my dad's energy, there was a dad energy here. And obviously I've just lost my dad. So I just assumed it was my dad. And you were like, no, I lost my dad. And I was just like, oh, okay, this is how.
Yeah.
So, even then, back then, I was still learning how energies come through during the healing as well, because it's not a traditional Reiki treatment that
Yeah.
I'm doing. And that's where I started realizing actually it was a bit more than the standard Reiki. So yeah, I do remember that. It is, okay for you to share your journey with grief and then your miscarriage. And then because you were part of my first group
Yeah.
coaching program when it was still called the Warrior Journey. And I have
Amazing.
And I wanted to talk about that as well, because I am bringing out a newer, updated version of that
Ooh,
next year with the 111 approach kind of stamp on it. So,
brilliant.
would you be okay to share like some of your
Yeah.
experiences with the grief and the
Yes,
trauma and the healing as well?
100%. So, obviously, like, we connected with my dad, and we always said, like, our dads were quite similar, like, just basically fun-loving, easygoing, loved by everyone, just like they were like the life of the party. They could step anywhere and they could strike up a conversation with anyone from any background, any age, anything, and they would just have some sort of a common interest. And like when we were talking about how similar our dads were, it was just like, oh my God, like this is crazy. Like, they're so alike. So I think that really kind of helped kind of make me feel more comfortable. And I remember like, yeah, we had our Reiki session and it was amazing. And with the grief that I had, I didn't realize. So my dad had passed away in 2016, and I had my first session with you in 2020, and that was just after your dad had passed away. And I didn't realize that I was still grieving. But what had happened is I started developing health anxiety. So I got to a stage where I wouldn't eat out. It is really weird how all of this manifests as well. It's so strange how things can manifest in different ways. But I stopped eating out. Like all my family and everybody would go out for dinner or whatever, and all I'd eat was chips. I wouldn't have salad or anything. I would literally just have like a stodgy potato dish or something. Because I'm like, right, the least likely thing that I could get ill from. Because my whole thing was if I have a phobia of sickness, I'd probably end going to hospital and then yeah, worst case scenario. Because after my dad, a year and a week later, my uncle, so my dad's eldest brother, he was like a second dad to us, and he's who I named my son after as well. He passed away, so it was like a double whammy.
Oh my gosh, Billie, that's pretty much what happened in in my family as well. So my dad passed, and then
Yes, you're.
about 14 months later, my his eldest brother passed, Matthias passed from the same
This is what
house.
we're so aligned.
Kid you not. And then 4 months later, his wife passed, and we all grew up in the same house. Oh my god, like, I'm
Mm.
literally getting chills. It's exactly the
I
same
know.
timeline.
It's like, know.
Holy crap. Oh my gosh, sorry. Like, this is, live on the podcast, like, wow. Wow, like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Wow.
This is what I mean.
Okay.
Like, there's so many things that have aligned us. Like, we're just like so many similar things, and I think it's weird. This is why we keep. I think this is why we keep reconnecting. I think that's why the universe was like, right, okay, you need to.
It's almost like a mirrored. Like, I just feel this happens to anybody, not just like healers or people in this world. It can just happen when you meet someone so randomly. It could be a client, a friend, a stranger on the street, or whatever. And then when you start uncovering your stories and your similarities, and you just get like this live goosebump moment, I was just like, wait a second, that's crazy. Like, our dads were very similar. Then they've passed away, and then literally the same amount of time that's passed, that their then older brother, our uncles, then pass away as well. Wow. Oh my gosh. Okay. So circling back to then what you were saying about your health anxiety, your eating, that
Like,
kind of came to the surface during
yeah.
COVID then, because obviously, and I think I've spoken about this on previous episodes with people, especially with the guest who was a nutritionist, and she had that OCD
Mhm.
eating. It was always there, but it kind of came to the surface and it was magnified during the pandemic because of what was going on, and everybody
Yeah.
was really fearful. And so lots of stuff came up to the surface for a lot of
Yeah.
people. So I guess that's what happened to you. And then obviously you realized you were still grieving. Uh, this is what I
Yeah.
mean, not still grieving. I feel like grief is just like it's just permanent, but it's just different forms, right?
I remember when my dad passed away. So basically, again, like 6 months before my dad passed away, my eldest cousin passed away.
Oh my gosh.
Um, and it was just after his birthday as well. And yeah, like it was crazy because it was just like really unexpected. All of this stuff happened, and you don't realize how much of an impact things can have on you and how much it can manifest into other things. I remember his wife, she said to me when my dad passed away, she said, you know, when they say time is a healer, it's not. She
Mm,
said, you just get used to them not being there. And I remember that just stuck with me. And I'm like, because every time people, oh, time is a healer, it's like, it's not.
it's not.
Because why are we forced to believe that time is a healer? Like, it's really not. You just have to learn to live without them. And that's just what it is. Like, okay, you might accept it and whatever, which we kind of have to, but there's still parts of you that doesn't want to accept or doesn't. I mean, like, you know, to an extent, I do accept it, but I don't at the same time. Like, why couldn't my dad be here? Do you
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, but that was his journey. And that's the only way that you can get through it. And I think when I was questioning a lot more was obviously during that COVID time. And then I remember, like, obviously we had that session and I was like, oh yeah, this is great. And after that, I remember like you just putting things up and stuff, and I was like, yeah, like, I really resonate with this. And then I remember you talking about your warrior journey, and I was like, oh, this seems interesting. Like, I've never done anything like this, so I don't know what it entails. It's just, let's see. I was just like 100% fully committed because I was like, I need to do something to help myself. And you're giving us all these tools and this information. And I didn't realize it myself how much the warrior journey changed me and helped me. But I remember when we finished the course, oh no, it was just before we finished, sorry. I met up with one of my friends who I hadn't seen for like about a year or two. Well, and she was like, oh, let's meet up in the shopping centre. We'll just meet outside because she knew that I didn't really like going into like restaurants,
Restaurants,
right? So she's
yeah.
like, let's meet outside of Nando's. And I was like, oh no, like we'll go and eat, right? And she was like, huh? And she was like, you want to eat? And I was like, yeah, yeah, we'll go and eat. I was like, we'll go to Nando's. And she was like, okay. And I remember her when we got inside and we sat down. She was like, I'm really proud of you. Like, and I was like, huh? And she was like, had this been a couple of years ago, or even a couple of months ago, like, she's like, I was surprised that you wanted to go inside the restaurant. And I'm surprised you wanted to sit down and like you're talking about food. Like normally you'd be like, let's stay away from food places, let's just go somewhere like that you don't have to eat or there's no food around or anything to kind of trigger you or anything like that. And I was like, oh my God, yeah. And I remember coming back to like the next session and telling you, like, oh my God, like this happened. And it was just like, I think for me, that was a moment where I was like, wow, like I honestly didn't know how the journey was going to go. I honestly didn't know, like what the warrior side of me was going to do or anything. But I think it's also, if you believe, like, I believe in you and what you were doing. And I was like, maybe like that, I think that's a massive part in things as well, is believing that you can change or things can happen and there is other things out there in terms of like energy and forces and stuff. And you have to do that work internally. And I remember you also saying you have to continually do it. Like you can't just do it and that's it, you're cured.
Mm.
And I remember that because when I did have my miscarriages and when I did have like my baby and all the things that had happened, in the back of my mind, all I remember is I need to go through my notes again. I need to go through my notes. I need to do this. I need to do that. And Dom would say it all the time. Like if I was like feeling really low or anything, he'd be like, go through your warrior note journey, notes. And I'll be like, oh yeah. It's like a continuous journey that you have to do, but it changed so much. And because you gave us the tools to kind of carry on, they're still there to, like, move forward. You just have to revisit it all the time, and that's something that you said then as well, and I remember that, and I was just like, "Okay, you gotta continue." This journey is not like, "Right, okay, we've done this and that's it." It's a continuous improvement, non-stop, but I guess that's what life is, right?
Well, this is it, right? And I love that you've put it so beautifully. And I want to circle back to some of the things that you said, but essentially, there is nothing on this planet that is a one hit wonder kind of thing, like,
Mm.
unless you're talking about music, in terms of health and wellness, and even things like I'm looking around my house, like this month, I've had to invest in my car as well. Just because you bought a car, you have to maintain it and take care of it. I think like, a few months ago, I put on my stories when like my wheels
Oh,
completely
yeah,
bust,
yeah.
and after that, then there was a few other things that, and I'd already got the wheels replaced and stuff, and I was thinking, what is going on? I've spent so much money on this car. And then when you were just saying it then, I was like, okay, we always talk about our bodies and about how you go to the gym. And, I think most people have heard that saying that you can't go to the gym once and expect to have the body of your
Mm,
dreams. And even when you get to your ideal body shape and state, I should say, not all about shape, but when you get into your ideal body state, you still have to maintain it, because if you don't maintain that body state, your mind state, and your wellness state, guess what? You're
mm.
going to go back to not feeling great or not looking great
Yeah.
and not being in a good state. And so we've all heard the body example, but it could be for any example. Like I said, your
Mm,
car, you still have to maintain it. You still have to get it serviced. You may need to change the battery, but you know, it's it's inevitable. There's nothing on this planet that doesn't need care and attention
yeah.
for it to have longevity. And that's the same with your spiritual journey, your energy journey, your
Mm,
wellness journey, your health journey. It is continuous. And then the only time when it stops is, unfortunately, when you are no longer here. So, and even then,
so
depending on your belief system, your
yeah.
soul expands, goes on, moves on. It's a different journey.
Mm,
Whether you believe in incarnation or
yeah.
whatever, it's still a ongoing process. So when people are like, "Oh gosh, you've got to do this again, and I've got to do it regularly," and I'm like, "What do you expect, people?" The warrior journey is now going to be rebranded. Like I said, it's coming out again next year. I'm going to be
Mm,
doing small sessions,
exciting.
and with putting a little one-on-one approach twist on it,
Yeah.
because the Warrior Journey was actually a group coaching program that was channeled by one of my Reiki masters, Caroline
Mm,
Panesar. I'd become a facilitator of that course. And then Caroline Auntie has given me the go ahead to be able to reuse and repurpose that course and put my own bits in as well. So it's coming out for next year, which I'm really excited about.
so good.
And yeah, it's more than just your like a coaching program, as you know, Billy.
Mm,
It's
yeah.
it gives you the tools and the techniques, but it also gives you the energetics, the healing, and the
Mm,
mindset. And that's
yeah.
the most important thing, right? It's like you can come and have regular healing for the rest of your life, but then you're still giving your power away to someone else. Like,
Mm,
you're giving your power away to me as your healer to say, "Oh, I need a healing session." But I want to give people exactly what you've been talking about, the techniques, the tools. So when they are in situations like you were in, and I love the fact that your partner was saying, "Go back through your notes." I've had
mm,
so many said that as well, like their partners were very much like they've seen the changes, the fact their
mm,
family and friends have seen the changes, and their partners and their family members were the ones reminding them, "Hey, listen, go back through your notes. Remember what your alter ego, your like warrior persona
yeah.
would do." And it's like tapping into that because it's all within each of us. We all
Yeah.
have it, but it's just been suppressed and it's just been
Mm,
forgotten. So this is why we need programs like this, people who are
100%.
in this industry like myself, to almost coax it out of you and help
Yeah.
you remind you of who you are. And this is what I love to do with my clients. And going back to your eating,
Mm,
spectacular moment,
yeah.
because that just goes to show the power of what this stuff does, because you didn't even think about it, did you? And it was that mindset change where it's like your body just felt safe because
Yeah.
you'd done the work. And I have to give props to you because You showed up every week, you put in the work, you did the homework or soul work, as we like to call it. You did the soul work, and that actually transformed your mindset, transformed your body, transformed your energy, and it transformed your fears. And
Yeah,
without you even noticing, and it was your friend
exactly.
that noticed, and that for me, I remember that moment. Everybody was like, so happy for you. Yeah, that was such a standout moment, and I love that.
I mean, it's because of, like, all the tools that you've given and the way that I think it's the way that you express it and explain it. I think it's and I've said this before, it's because you're so approachable, you're just so easy, to, like, open up to, and you're just open, so it's just easy to kind of have that same dialogue with you. I've kind of spoken to other healers sometimes where they're a little bit more closed, and I can feel that, and it makes me stay a little bit more closed, and I'm not as vulnerable. And I think because you created such a safe space that it was like, okay, I can be 100% vulnerable, and I know I'm not going to get any judgments. I know there's not going to be even the people that were in the course, like, you know that there's not going to be anything around it. Whereas, sometimes you're a little bit like, I'm not sure if I'm feeling this.
Mm,
But the warrior journey was just, yeah, it was amazing. Even going like afterwards, anyone that I could speak to, I'm like, right, yeah, you got to do the warrior journey. Like, you've got to do this. Like I was telling my sister. Um, Again, I think the only reason why some people didn't is because of the commitment. But
mm.
that's something that you
So
have to do, isn't it?
so this is a thing, this is why I've obviously been reviewing stuff, and I'm very much similar to you, like, I have to feel safe, which is why I don't do well in big groups. Like, when you have 50 people in a room, 100 people, or even 20 people, for me, I'm like, when we're doing energy work and spiritual work, for me, I just don't feel safe enough to be
Yeah.
open and vulnerable. Not to say that they're not great, because for some people, they need that support. They need to see that there's lots of us in that same similar situation.
Yeah.
I think I understand that everyone has that. I don't feel alone in how I feel. So that's why now I'm at that stage where I want to be in smaller, intimate groups, because for me as well, I feel then you get more one on one and personalized rather than
Yeah.
a generic. And the thing is, generic stuff is great because fundamentally we are all going through the same stuff. It's just labeled differently. You know, your trauma of your eating fears, for someone else, energetically, it's the same fear and the same stuck
Yeah.
energy, but it's labeled as a fear of spiders or,
Yeah.
insomnia or something. But that's fine. But the thing is, for me, I just love giving one-on-one, intimate, kind of personalized,
Mm.
tailored solutions, energy work, and techniques that are tailored to specifically to you. Because even though it might be similar, it's still not the same,
Yeah.
because you are you. Even if I had 2 people, 4 people with the same fears of the eating, like I had with Syra, the nutritionist,
Yeah.
it's still different because her energy and her experience and her situations is very different from yours.
Yeah.
And so with that commitment of it being a 7-week program and 2 hours every week, it was a lot. So what I've done is it's a little bit of an exclusive. We've broken it down,
Oh,
so it's not gonna be 2 hours every week, because that is a lot of commitment for everyone to do. So I've made it in different levels and sizable chunks. Break. So that's coming out next week.
like
Enough about this. I want to talk a bit more about you. I want to talk about what you're doing now. You're making some beautiful Christmas wreaths, which are all made with like premium quality beads. And so I've
Yeah.
put an order in for like 8. Can you give us a little bit more information about what's so special
Yeah.
about them?
Firstly, I wanna say honestly, like, thank you so, so much for placing such a big order. So, I was in a really dark place because I had really bad postnatal depression and PTSD from the pregnancy, birth. I kind of looked to different charities to get help and support, because having a premature is very, very challenging, because a lot of people try and tell you things that they would do with full-term babies, but it's not the same. Things are very different. And being 7 weeks premature, like, he was in NICU, so, like, as soon I had to have an emergency C-section, so as soon as he was born, he was taken away from me. I didn't get to see him for, like, over 12 hours. I was looking at charities to help, so the Smallest Things charity, they were amazing because they had loads of stories that you could really relate to and be like, "Okay, well, I'm not the only one feeling like this." Miracle Moon, which is a community, it's like a NICU and premature baby community, which again, everything I was saying, things like my feelings were validated because I felt like, okay, well, he's safe, he's fine. He came home within a week, whereas like other babies have to spend like 10 weeks in hospital or whatever. And I was like, I should be grateful. But what Miracle Moon taught me was that it doesn't matter how long he stayed in. I had to go through something different to what any other normal parent would go through in terms of bringing their baby home safely straight away. I was allowed to feel what I felt, so it just gave me those tools to be like, "It's okay to feel what I'm feeling." And then Bliss, they had a lot of information about how to feed a premature baby because, again, like, there's feeding issues. So then this year, I was like, "I really wanna give something back." So I make these Christmas wreaths, and from every single wreath that I sell, 10% I will split between these 3 charities. So, for example, with the Smallest Things charity, they have stickers that you put on the baby's red book, and it says that they spent time in NICU and that how many weeks they are, so that when a health professional looks at it, they don't have to go through everything. They can see it straight away, and that information is there. And those are £13, yeah, but they post them out for free to anybody who has a premature baby. So your order alone, you've donated enough money for one person to get those stickers for free.
Oh my gosh, that makes me feel so
Yeah.
great. Thank you. Oh, I
So,
love that. Conscious
honestly, like, that's
buying, everybody. Conscious Christmas gifting. This
yes.
is what it's all about. No, but it's true. Like, I love that you've told me that because, I mean, for me, A, I wanted to support a small business. B, I wanted to support someone I know and love because I feel so strongly about this, and I do talk about it a lot on my posts as well, on my stories, that your friends and family will happily buy from big brand designers,
Mhm.
or if their favorite celebrities brought out a makeup range and they'll buy from there. And I'm like, you're lining the pockets of people whose pockets don't really need to be lined. But when it comes
Mm,
to some of their nearest and dearest starting their own business or doing something part-time, then it's like they're reluctant to forget buying because just because you know someone, you don't need to buy from them. Everyone's tastes personal, but even supporting, sharing,
yeah.
in
Yep.
even if you don't wanna share their content, engaging in their content, double tapping that like,
Literally.
maybe writing a comment. They don't realize how much that's gonna do for your account, for
Exactly.
your reach, for your views, and it's free to do.
100% get it. So this month, I've also got, like, a charm now as well. So,
I
like, you
saw
have, like, your
that.
baby's first
Yeah.
Christmas or, like, you've moved into a new home, first home or whatever, and you want something, but you don't want it specifically to say, like, "Oh, baby's first Christmas," or it's just got the simple day on it. So it's just minimalistic.
It's a really cute way of again, going back to the conscious buying and the conscious
Mm,
gifting, I'm always thinking bigger picture because when I buy something now, how many times can it get used? Even with clothes, like if I'm
yeah.
not going to wear it more than like 8 times, then I'm not going to buy it because I'm
Yeah.
trying to be more conscious about not using fast fashion, not just buying things and
Mm,
wearing it once and then returning it. It's just not good karma and it's not good for the environment. And so
100%.
I do love the ideas of like, oh yeah, you got personalized things, but then it's like, well, then you can't use it the next year. But I struggled, I'll be honest, I struggled buying from you because there was so many beautiful combinations of colors. And I'm like, damn, girl. But yeah, I just love now that if anyone wants to do this, you can have each year a different color and then just decorate your tree, decorate your house. How beautiful is that? And then you know that the money's also going to charity. So thank you so much
Yeah.
for telling me where my order's gone to. Like, because that's just leveled it up. Because, like I said, I love buying from people that I know, and I want to support small businesses. But then the cherry on top was that it goes to charity, and I'm like, yes, I'm
Yeah.
100% in. Um,
Yeah, thank you. And also the beads that I buy as well, they're all from UK sellers as well. So I put a post up as well about buying from Amazon and other places.
Shein,
So I
Temu. Let's just call them all out. Sorry, let's just call them all out because it's not conscious buying. Yes, it's cheap, but it's not conscious.
no, and you can see the quality as well. Like I think with things like this, you need to make sure that you have quality because you need that shine. And you can't do it with like just your like plastic beads. They need to be glass beads. So yeah, so all the beads are from UK sellers.
Love that.
They are like grade A quality, so it's not like, just standard things.
And you've got well, very exclusive. thing that we're doing.
Yeah.
First time I've ever done this on the pod as well. So to celebrate Billie's amazing Christmas wreaths, we've teamed up, the one-on-one approach and the Bead idea, to bring you all podcast listeners a very exclusive pod promo, which entitles you for 10% off any wreaths ordered from
Yeah.
Billie's company, the Bead idea, for the whole month of December. Is that right?
Yep, the whole month.
Amazing. And in addition to that, so not only are you going to be supporting a beautiful soul and her small business, B, you'll be consciously gifting this Christmas these beautiful premium glass wreaths, and you'll be giving back to charities for premature babies, and you'll be getting 10% off. So, like, it's just like a no brainer offer. But on top of that, if that wasn't good enough, what I'm also offering is for every wreath that is sold this month using that code,
Mhm.
I'm going to gift a complimentary 15-minute online energy healing session. So,
Trust me, you don't want to
I
miss
mean,
that.
you know, it is only just for podcast listeners. Do please like and share and comment on this podcast episode. Share it with someone you think may find it useful, and just share it because you don't know who wants to buy a wreath this Christmas. The cutoff date, Billie, could you let us know the cutoff date for if people want to order this in time for Christmas?
It'll be Friday the 19th of December.
Okay, so people, please listen to this. Get online. I'm telling you now, you'll have trouble choosing because the combinations are so good. So give yourself some time to choose wisely and get your orders in before December 19th. And like I said, you'll get an additional 15-minute online session with me as well. And that's where my way of giving back. So,
Oh, I love that.
yes. So, thank you so much, Billie. From the bottom of my
Thank
heart,
you.
honestly, thank you so much for coming on, sharing your story. We will definitely get you back on to share a little bit more about your pregnancy journey and the trials and tribulations through that. But, on
Mhm.
the end of it, you've got this beautiful, beautiful bundle of joy, your baby boy, and he's just glowing, and as are you. But it
Thank
would be
you.
lovely to understand your journey about how you got to that space. As always, we end on a 1 minute meditation with these podcasts. But
Mhm.
before I do that, is there anything else you'd like to share? Your closing statements?
I just want to say thank you so much. You're just an amazing person, and honestly, anyone that gets to work with you, you'll be so honored to work with her because she's just amazing. But yeah, thank you so much for having me on this podcast as well. Yeah, thank you so much for believing in me and all the things that I make as well, and all my journey as well. So thank you so much.
My pleasure. Well, lovely. Okay, let's do this 1 minute meditation. I'm going to invite you all, if it is safe for you to do so, do close your eyes. Take a nice deep breath in through your nose, hold, and then breathe out through your mouth. And from today's episode, I really want to just use this 1 minute meditation to send out some positive thoughts, prayers, well wishes to all the beautiful babies out in the world, especially the prem ones, those who are in NICU, all the families, everyone who has experienced anything to do with prem babies. Let's just utilize this 1 minute of sending so much love, so many positive thoughts and prayers to all of these people, all of these beautiful souls and their families, anyone who's struggling today. Just feeling that glow of your heart, sending out that energy from the center of your chest, sending it out to all those babies. And as we close up this 1 minute meditation, just putting a smile on your face, giving gratitude to living in a time where there is help, there are resources, there are charities, people out there who are able to help in these kind of situations. And then just taking a nice deep breath in through your nose, hold, and then as you release out, just open your eyes. Open your eyes. So, thank you so much, everyone, for listening. Please remember to download, like, share this episode, and I will see you all on the next one. Sending you love, light, and blessings.